Here are the steps you need to follow. First, you need to understand the different types of business taxes. When we talk about business taxes, there's a whole constellation of taxes that you need to take into account. First, you have income tax. So all businesses except partnerships must file an annual income tax return. Partnerships file an information return, so 1065 or 1120S. The form you use depends on how your business is organized, so it's very important to have the right type of business organization. And if you're not required to make estimated tax payments, you may pay any tax due when you file your return. So for additional information, refer to Publication 583. One thing you need to understand here is that the federal income tax is the pay-as-you-go tax system. So you must pay the tax as you earn or receive income during the year. An employee usually has income tax withheld from his or her pay. If you don't pay your tax through withholding or don't pay enough tax that way, you might have to pay estimated taxes. Okay, so this is important. So you have income tax, you have estimated tax, you have self-employment tax. So self-employment tax is a Social Security and Medicare tax primarily for individuals who work for themselves, so self-employed. Your payments of a self-employment tax contribute to your coverage under the Social Security system. Social Security coverage provides you with retirement benefits, disability benefits, survivor benefits, and hospital insurance. In other words, the Medicare portion of it. So those are the benefits that you actually can qualify for under the Social Security system. So generally, you must pay self-employment tax and file Schedule SE, Form 1040 or Form 1040 SR if either of the following applies. If your net earnings from self-employment were $400 or more, if you work for a church or a qualified church-controlled organization, other than a minister or a member of a religious order that elected an exemption from Social Security and Medicare taxes, you are subject to self-employment tax if you receive 108.28 or more in wages from the church or organizations. One thing I want to say here is that there are special rules and exceptions for aliens, fishing crew members, notary public, state or local government employees, foreign government or international organization employees. So for more information, I want you to refer to self-employment tax on the IRS website. So you have employment taxes also. You also have excise taxes. So when we talk about excise taxes, we have a constellation of forms. We have Form 720. So the federal excise taxes reported on Form 720 consist of several broad categories of taxes, including environmental taxes, communications and air transportation taxes, fuel taxes, tax on the first retail sale of heavy trucks, trailers, and tractors, manufacturers' taxes on the sale of or use of a variety of different articles. So you also have Form 2290, you have Form 730, and you have Form 11C. So all those are related to excise taxes. Now let me talk to you about the primary payment options. By the way, welcome back to the channel. Really appreciate having you here. In today's conversation, we're speaking about how to pay business tax online. And in the first section, I explained to you the different types of business taxes we have. In the second section here, I want to talk to you about the primary payment options. So if you want to pay your taxes online, you can pay by debit card, credit card, or digital wallet. Okay, so for individuals and businesses, not for payroll tax deposits, you can actually use debit card, credit card, or digital wallet. Keep in mind that processing fees apply. And the IRS uses third-party payment processors for payments by debit and credit card. It is very safe and secure. Your information is used only to process your payment, okay? And you can also pay online or over the phone. You can pay using digital wallets such as PayPal and Click to Pay. There is a maximum number of card payments allowed based on your tax type and payment type. And employers' federal tax deposit cannot be paid by card, okay? And for card payments of $100,000 or more, special requirements may apply. And I want to quickly share with you, you can see on the screen here are the fees by processor. So we have, depending on the processor that you choose, there are some fees that pertain to the whole transaction. So look on the screen right now. So the IRS has three primary payment processors as of now. So we have ACI payments. You have Pay 1040, and you have Pay USA tax. And each processor has a fee for a debit card, credit card, a minimum fee, and payments accepted. Okay, and I want to show you right now also the payment processor fee comparison. Look on the screen right now. So this is really important. Now, one thing I want to say here is that no part of the card service fee goes to the IRS. Okay, and you don't need to send in a voucher if you pay by card. And card processing fees are tax deductible for business taxes. You must contact the card processor to cancel a card payment. And the IRS will refund any overpayment unless you owe a debt on your account. And your card statement will list your payments as United States Treasury tax payment and your fee as a tax payment convenience fee or something similar. So very important. And we're going to show you on the screen right now the payment processor contact information. So we have the information for ACI payments. We have the information for Pay 1040. And we have the information for Pay USA tax. I want to talk to you now about another way you can actually pay your taxes, and that's through the electronic federal tax payment system, the EFTPS. By the way, I want to quickly remind everybody of today's conversation. The topic of today is how to pay business taxes online. So in the first session, I told you can actually pay by credit card, debit card, or payment processor. Okay, by a digital wallet. No. So credit card, debit card, or a digital wallet. You can also pay your taxes, your business taxes, through the EFTPS. Okay, so you can make business payments or schedule estimated payments through the EFTPS. Now, the thing is, you have to enroll though. That's the thing. So you can see on the screen, the link here is the EFTPS.gov and the EFTPS, and this is actually the easiest way to pay all of your federal taxes. Okay, and it's basically a free system offered by the U.S. Department of Treasury to pay your federal taxes. And the cool thing is that you are able to actually get notification real quick. Okay, the thing is that when making your electronic federal tax payment, using three pieces of identification safeguards your privacy and secures your information. So the use of your taxpayer identification number, EIN or Social Security number, you have a PIN code, a personal identification number, an internet password, along with a secure internet browser that basically all along help to increase your security. So this is a great strategy if you are trying to pay your taxes real quick and comply with the law. Okay, so you have security, you have convenience. In other words, you can actually schedule payments up to 365 days in advance. This is really good when you really think about it. You can make your tax payments from home or the office 24/7. You can easily change or cancel scheduled payments. You can pay your income, employment, estimated, and excise federal tax payments. And the cool thing is, through this system, actually through this platform, you can view 15 months of payment history. So this is really good for archiving and planning strategies. Okay, and if you're willing to, if you're interested in that, you can actually go online and to actually register right now, or you can call EFTPS, their customer service, 1-800-555-4477, 1-800-555-4477. So besides credit card, debit card, digital wallet, and EFTPS, there are other ways you can pay your business taxes online. So you have same-day wire. So same-day wire are pretty quick. Okay, you may be able to do a same-day wire from your financial institution. You want to contact your financial institution, your bank, or a credit union. You want to ask them for availability, cost, and cutoff times. Okay, and so the thing is that you can actually also pay through check or money order. So, but this happens through the U.S. mail. In other words, if you choose to mail your tax payments, make your check, money order, or cashier's check payable to the U.S. Treasury. Please note, do not send cash through the mail. If you prefer cash payment, I'll speak about that later on. Okay, so you want to enter the amount using all numbers. In other words, you use all the decimals too. Very important. Do not actually use staples or paper clips to affix your payments to your voucher or return. Make sure your check or money order includes the following information: your name and address, date, time, phone number, social security number or employer identification number, your tax year, and the related tax form or notice number. Very important. And you want to mail your payment to the address listed on the notice or instructions. Okay, it is really important to actually keep that in mind. And one thing I want to say here is that if you are presenting a check, so when you provide a check as payment, you authorize the IRS either to use the information from your check to make a one-time electronic fund transfer from your account, or to process the payment as a check transaction. When the IRS uses information from your check to make an electronic fund transfer, funds may be withdrawn from your account as soon as the same day they receive your payment, and you will now receive your check back from your financial institution. Okay, it's really important to remember. And for larger payments, the thing is that the IRS cannot accept a single check or money order amounts of 100 million or more. So you can submit multiple payments or make a same-day wire payment. So the bottom line here is what? If you have a larger payment to make, it's just better to do a same-day wire payment. Don't actually send a check. If you want to pay your business taxes, you can actually also pay by cash. That's the other option. By the way, I want to quickly remind everybody of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to pay business taxes online. So you can pay through credit card, debit card, digital wallet. You can pay through the EFTPS. You can pay through same-day wire. You can pay through check or money order. You can also pay through cash. Now, if you want to pay cash, you have to go through a retail partner and other methods. So the easiest and most secure way to pay for most taxpayers is electronically. In other words, online or through the IRS Go mobile app. Others prefer to pay by check or money order. Now, if you are a person or a business who has had trouble obtaining a bank account or need to pay your federal taxes with cash using U.S. currency for some other reason, there are ways to pay. Now, the IRS goal is to make the process of paying your taxes as convenient, safe, and secure as they possibly can for every type of taxpayer. So the thing is, let's just quickly go through the methods that you actually can avail yourself of. So first, cash payment method, electronically using a prepaid card or mobile app. So you just need to buy a prepaid credit card and pay online or through the IRS Go mobile app. You can also pay cash at one of the IRS retail partners. So you can pay. So if you go to the IRS website, they have a list of their retail partners, or just let us know in the comment section, and we'll send you the link to the IRS retail partners. So where you can just go physically and just pay at that location. And so retail partners, it's very important to remember that retail partners only accept payments of up to $1,000. To avoid penalties and interest, make your retail partner cash payment at least 7 business days before your due date. You can also mail your cash using money order or a cashier's check. So you want to purchase a money order or cashier's check at a post office, grocery store, retail, or bank, and pay by mail. Never mail cash to an IRS office. And you can also pay in person at one of the IRS taxpayers assistance centers. Okay, call 1-844-545-5640 to schedule an appointment at an IRS TAC that accepts cash. You should call 30 to 60 days before the day you want to pay. Okay. Now the thing is, the IRS tax that accept cash have security checkpoints to ensure your safety. Okay. So their specially trained staff will help make the process as efficient as possible for you. You also have the electronic funds withdrawal option. Okay, this is another way where you basically are paying the IRS. It's very important to explain that. Electronic fund withdrawal is an integrated e-file e-pay option offered only when filing your federal taxes using tax preparation software or through a tax professional. Using this payment option, you can submit one or more payment requests for direct debit from your designated bank account. Okay, so this is really, so you have to go through maybe H&R Block, Tax Act, Credit Karma. Yeah, so you have to go through one of those software tools. Okay, and the thing is that it is very convenient. Individual and business filers can e-file and e-pay in a single step, and IRS does not charge a fee to use electronic funds withdrawal. But you want to check with your financial institution about any fees it may charge. And one thing I want to say here is that just make sure that you schedule this payments way in advance, so you have enough time for the check or the transfer to clear, so that you are basically avoiding any fees and penalties. And also, but if you have any question, you can call the IRS e-file payment services 24/7. They're available 24/7 at 1-888-353-4537 to inquire about or cancel your payment. But please, you want to wait 7 to 10 days after your return was accepted before calling. I'm just giving you here, the whole thing is that sometimes you have cancellations, you have errors, you have questions. People want to modify the amount they're paying. They want to cancel everything because, whatever happens. So you can just call that number and basically you'll be fine. One thing I want to say here is that if a payment is returned by your financial institution, for example, because you have NSF, you have insufficient funds, incorrect account information, closed account, the IRS will mail a letter 4870 to the address they have on file for you, explaining why the payment could not be processed and providing alternate payment options. Okay. And so in the event that your financial institution is unable to process your payment request, you will be responsible for making other payment arrangement and for any penalties and interest incurred. So this is really quite essential. Now, one thing I want to say here is that if you need more time to pay, because things happen, people go through stuff, and you have to plan your life. You have to actually plan your finances as well. You can avoid a penalty by filing and paying your tax by the due date, even if you cannot pay what you owe. For individuals and businesses, apply online for a payment plan, including installment agreement to pay off your balance over time. Now, there are fees that apply though. We actually covered installment agreements on another show, so you might want to go and check out that show. So the thing is, for the individual payment plan, you have to actually go through, you have to fulfill certain conditions. So the question here is, do you qualify? Well, the thing is that it depends. There are some restrictions. There are some conditions. Again, as I said, we have covered this on other shows, so I'm not going to go in details here. But long story short, you got to meet certain income requirements, and you must have actually filed all your returns to qualify. Okay, and depending on the plan that you choose, the fees go from $0 to $138. Okay, really, $130. And one thing I also want to say here is that you can actually review or revise an existing plan. So let's say you have a plan, an installment agreement with the IRS, and things happen. Maybe you're making more money or you're making less money, and you want to go back and revise something already agreed upon with the IRS. It's totally possible. They have this flexibility. So you have to, everything happens online. It happens on the IRS website. There is a specific link that explains everything, that tells you basically how to revise your existing plan. If you want to increase the amount, or you want to reduce the amount, or if you want to maybe put it on pause, everything is possible as long as you keep the channels of communication open with the IRS. What I'm trying to say here is that if you find yourself in as a excruciating circumstance and things are not really working for you, it's always great to contact the agency. You can contact them through email, not email. You can contact them through phone. You can actually go to an IRS Taxpayers Assistance Center to attack. You can actually also send them a regular mail through USPS. Let's talk about a business payment plan. So before I just spoke to you about an individual payment plan, you can also have a business payment plan if you have let's say an actual business, because as I said, we have if you think about sole proprietorship, single member LLC, those file 1040. So if there was a problem at the when it came to paying taxes, if there was a problem, then that person will need an individual payment plan. Now, if you have a quote unquote an actual business, a C corporation that pays taxes at the business level, then you might want to think about having a business payment plan. Okay. And again, when it comes to qualification, we have actually covered this on other shows, but there are some conditions you must fulfill, okay, to actually qualify for a business payment plan. And if you are a sole proprietor or independent contractor, apply for a payment plan as an individual. Okay. Now there are setup fees that actually apply to this business payment plan, depending on the kind of plan you want. Okay. And the setup fees go from $0 to $256. So you can actually pay each month through direct debit, non-direct debit, automatic withdrawals. Okay. And the same strategy I just gave you for the individual plan also applies here. In other words, you can actually revise or edit an existing plan if things have changed, if the business's circumstances have changed, and you feel like you want to pay more or pay less. Things are totally possible. And one thing I also want to say here is that, remember, you always have the ability to appoint someone to take care of those things for you. So the IRS allows this to happen, but you need to actually assign power of attorney to a third party, to a third party, to represent your business vis-a-vis the IRS. Okay, so and that power of attorney is active when it comes to allowing your representative to edit an existing plan, to actually cancel it, or to So all cards are on the table. Everything is possible here, as long as you keep the communications open with the IRS. I want to talk to you about an offer and compromise. And the thing here is that you have to understand that if you want to pay business taxes online, okay, and basically things happen, you cannot pay because you're in financial straits right now, well, you can see if you qualify for an offer and compromise to settle your tax debt for less than you owe. So an offer and compromise allows you to actually settle your tax debt for less than the full amount that you owe. It may be a legitimate option if you cannot pay your full tax liability, or doing so creates a financial hardship for you. So the IRS, what they do is they actually will sit down with you, or they will just maybe have a conversation with you, and they will look at a constellation of criteria before approving you. So they look at your ability to pay, your income, your expenses, and your asset equity. So what they call asset equity means that what kind of equity do you have in any asset that you have? Okay. For example, let's say you have a car, and the car you basically owe $5,000 on the car, but the car is worth 20 grand. So your asset equity is $15,000 because the car is worth 20 grand, but you owe 5,000. So this is your asset equity. Okay. Now for an offer and compromise, to be eligible, you must have filed all required tax returns and made all required estimated payments, and you're not in an open bankruptcy proceeding. You have a valid extension for a current year return if applying for the current year. And if you also can be an employer and made tax deposits for the current and past 2 quarters before you apply. So there are some very specific conditions that you need to fulfill before qualifying for this type of this type of agreement. One thing I also want to say here is that you can actually submit your application online, or you can mail it to the IRS. Okay, you can mail something called Form 433A. You can also mail Form 656. Okay, so this is depending on what kind of status you have, and there is an application fee. But yeah, it is just what it is, and that application fee is non-refundable. This is really important to remember. It's non-refundable. Let me quickly say something before we close to this conversation. So basically, I want to talk about collection process delay. So if you are facing financial hardship, you may be eligible to ask for a temporary collection delay until your finances improve. And so this is, see, the whole thing is people actually are scared whenever they hear from the IRS, but there is a constellation of possibilities for taxpayers. If the IRS determines that you cannot pay any of your tax debt, they may report your account currently not collectible and temporarily delay collection until your financial condition improves. And being currently not collectible does not mean the debt goes away. It means the IRS has determined you cannot afford to pay the debt at this time. So prior to approving your request to delay collection, the IRS may ask you to complete a collection information statement. So that's called a Form 433F or Form 433A or Form 433B. And you need to provide proof of your financial status. So this may include anything about your assets and your monthly income and expenses. So once you have that, you should be good to go. And so the thing is that it's really important because a lot of folks don't get this part. If the IRS does delay collecting from you, your debt will increase because penalties and interest are charged until you pay the full amount. So during a temporary delay, the IRS will constantly review your ability to pay. And they may also file a notice of federal tax lien to protect the government's interest in your assets. Okay, so those are really important things you need to know. So to request a temporary delay of the collection process or to discuss your other payment options, you want to consider going to a branch or you want to contact the agency at 1-800-829-1040. 1-800-829-1040. And another thing I want to say before closing today's conversation is that you have to constantly keep, again, I think I've said this before, but I want to say you want to constantly explain things to the IRS, and don't fall for people trying to scare you, say, the IRS, whatever. No. You're a law-abiding citizen. You just want to have more information. It is their job to actually get back to you. And they will do it if you know how, if you ask properly. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just speaking to you about how to pay business taxes online. So we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about the types of business loans, the primary payment options. We spoke about other ways you can pay: cash, debit, credit. So thank you so much for your attention. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.